Hello, fight fans across the world, or those who are on YouTube watching me. Welcome to the show today. It's a happy Thursday today, I think. I don't know what's going on in the world today, but it's a good Thursday for me, anyways. Hold on, let me move this a little bit. There you go. Looks a little bit better like that. I'd rather not see the window there. Anyways, how are you guys? Uh-oh, echo. All right, cool. I hate hearing myself, I swear. But I got to make sure it works. I always just forget to mute that part. So with that, again, hello. Today I'm gonna go over some MMA news, and then I'm gonna go over. So a while ago, it was in April. Excuse me. They hadn't made the 317 card yet. This weekend's card. I predicted my own card, and some of those fighters are going to be on this card. One matchup, an actual matchup in particular, is happening, just not on this card. So I want to go over that as well. And then we're going to go ahead and watch and react to the pre-fight press conference. So let's go ahead and get right onto it. First up, we've got, oh, wait, let me get to this actually. All right. First up, we got a fight that was not canceled, but a fighter had to back out last minute. That was Cedric Dumas. What triggered last minute 317 UFC fight card shakeup? Cedric Dumas is out of his bout at UFC 317 this Saturday because he allegedly won't be able to see a judge about removing his ankle monitor until Thursday. So today, 2 days before the fight, and he couldn't see a judge. Why? Dana, you got some pull, bro. Why can this guy not see a judge? 2 days? What's so important? The guy could still weigh in, right? All that matters is up until fight night. I mean, hell, you got Dan Ige that came in on a fucking 3 hour notice fight. What do you mean? You guys could get this done. You're the fucking UFC. You guys get shit done. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of everything, but Thursday seems, and this was announced yesterday. So Thursday, or no, June 24th. This was announced Monday. Or wait, what's today? What the fuck's today? This was announced Monday, or when? Tuesday. Tuesday. I'm stupid. Okay, Tuesday. This was announced Tuesday. That seems a little early to call this fight and have him back out. But let's take a look here. From Octagon Updates on X, I'm told that the reason Cedric Dumas had pulled out earlier was that he could get an ankle monitor off and in front of a judge and in front of a judge by Thursday, which would be too late. Again, how is that too late? I'm genuinely confused about that. How is that too late? That's literally fucking still 2 days before the fight. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. How's that too late? He could still weigh in. He could still obviously train. He's been training the whole time with his ankle monitor on. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't know. We'll see who replaced him. Did they announce who replaced him in this? Let's see. I'm told that yeah, blah blah. MMA Access or MMA Junkie. Okay. The Reaper was arrested in April for 5 separate charges. Okay. Jesus Christ. First of all, I like Cedric Dumas. I don't know him as a person, but I like him as a fighter, and he just fought recently, so he's a guy that's down to fight. I like that. Why the fuck are we having criminals fight in the UFC, dude? Especially while they're still on parole or whatever it is. In 5 charges? Like, I mean, I get it. You had John Jones for the longest time, but this guy's no John Jones, and also John Jones never had an ankle monitor on while he was fighting. But let's see who's replacing him. I don't know. I don't even really care. But this is kind of ridiculous, anyways. The guy shouldn't even be part of the UFC until he's got his shit taken care of. But also, you guys couldn't get him. You guys couldn't fucking fast track some shit in Nevada. I mean, there's court shit going on all the time, especially in Vegas. There's no way you guys could get him in front of a judge. That's a little ridiculous. And he could have been able to do it by today. Again, I don't know the ins and outs. I'm not the business guy, so who am I to say anything? But they've done more in a lesser amount of time. So with that, let me know what you think. Are you excited about this, that he's getting replaced? Did you want to see him fight? Do you kind of take my stance in that, hey, this was announced on Tuesday. They could have gotten something done by today, and even today seems a little bit early. Like they could get him as long as he's there before he has to fight, right? Like who cares? But genuinely, I don't know if I could be informed. Inform me, let me know, help me learn. I'm always willing and open to learn. But anyway, Cedric Dumas is out. Last minute fight card shakeup for UFC 317, and that is it. Hopefully, the final shakeup for this event. Next up, my man Kevin Holland, he gets his 4th fight in 2025. I can't believe he's already fought 3 times. I remember his last one and one before that. I don't even remember his first one. But Kevin Holland is not taking any break from competition as he books his 4th fight in 2025 for July 19th, taking on Daniel Rodriguez at UFC 318. D-Rod, this is going to be, it's going to be a fun fight. And Nolans, multiple people close to the situation confirmed to the news MMA Fighting following reports from Kev K. UFC 318 will take place in Smoothie King Center, Nolens, California, Nolens, Louisiana. It features a 5-round BMF battle between Dustin and Max. Okay, Holland's 7-week turnaround gives him a chance to extend his UFC winning streak to 3 for the first time since 2020, when he won 5 straight in a calendar year. Trailblazer is 28-13 with 1 no contest as a professional. He stopped Vicente Luque 3 months after a decision victory over Gunnar Nelson, pocketing bonuses for both performances and rebounding from middleweight losses to Roman Dolidze and RDR. Rodriguez folded Santiago Ponzinibbio for a 3rd-round knockout this past May, boosting his UFC record to 9-4 after a previous decision victory over Alex Morono. 38-year-old now has a chance to go 3-0 after skidding against Neil Magny, Eden Machado Gary, and Kelvin Gastelum slowed his momentum in 2024. Okay, so what do you guys think about it? I love seeing Kevin Holland fight. He's entertaining. I don't care if he wins, if he loses, if it's a no contest, it's a draw. I don't care. He's entertaining. He's funny. And he's just a cool fighter to watch. Seems like a cool dude. So with his 4th fight in 2025, I think that's crazy. It looks like he may, as long as he doesn't get jacked up. Excuse me. Oh, I got the hiccups. He might beat his record of not only wins, but also just fights in general in a calendar year. At this rate, if he doesn't get jacked up, I mean, it's been 7 weeks. It's late June right now, so we'll just say it's July. He could easily fight again in September. I think he could easily fight again in November. That would put him at 6 fights, or November or December. That would put him at 6 fights in 2025, and he's won 2. This would be his 3rd, or did he lose that? Or did he lose his first fight? I'm gonna look it up real quick. We got time, anyways. Kevin Holland 2025 record. All right, 2 wins and 1 loss. Okay, so the gunner with fights. Okay, so the loss. I don't know if that RDR loss was this year or late last year. So the RDR loss, that's fine. If he wins this fight, that's already 3, and then if he wins the next 2, he'll A, beat his record of calendar year fights, and then B, tie his record of wins in a calendar year. So I mean, good for him, man. Make that money, get the bag. And he says, he's like, yo, I don't fight to be a champion. I fight for money because I like to spend money. And so, hey, that's why he likes to fight. And if that's what it takes to get these guys to fight, if it takes money over actually being a champion, then let's get it, because we need more turnaround guys like Kevin Holland in the UFC. There's not nearly as many as there used to be. Kevin Holland and Alex Pereira were pretty much, and I mean, I guess Alexander Volkanovski too, but he's been out longer than he initially wanted. But the turnaround fighters, Nate Diaz, all these guys, like they're a lot of fun to watch, and they build what's the right word? Rapport within fans, whether they win or lose, because fans appreciate the fact that, like, hey, they're there to entertain, they're there to fight, and they know what they signed up for, and they're following through on their promise to us as fans, and build rapport, not rapport, build rapport with fans. So I like that, and I want to see more of it. And so good for Kevin Holland getting his 4th battle. That fight with D-Rod is going to be, I think I got a feeling that one's going to be a banger. So I think someone's getting knocked out round 2. So we'll see. And that's on a pay-per-view card. So next pay-per-view, UFC 318, that's looking up to be a fun card. These next like 3 cards, and even the last one, I'll give the last one a pass too. These last like handful of cards, it has been a great summer for UFC pay-per-views so far. So let me know down below, what do you think about Kevin Holland getting his 4th fight in 2025, and how many do you think he will make this year? All right, get out of here, ad, you stupid. Whole time there's no ads, and then all of a sudden there's an ad. All right. In other news, let's see. Association of Boxing Commissions to vote on changes to MMA bout scoring. Now, I do not follow boxing at all, or nearly enough. So if anybody has any insight or knowledge or whatever to kind of help me understand, I haven't read this article, but to help me understand, please let me do it. Off the top of my head, The last thing I want is boxing commissions to judge MMA or to vote on changes about scoring MMA. That's the last thing I want, because then they're gonna take away from ground games, from submissions, from wrestling, and things like that. I hope not, but that's just what immediately comes to my mind. Let's take a look. Each year, the Association of Boxing Commissions holds an annual conference over several days that includes discussing and voting on potential legislative changes in combat sports. This year, they are expected to vote on changes of the scoring criteria in the Unified Rules of Mixed Martial Arts that seek to add thorough clarification to how rounds are scored. This document provides clarification for how the judges are scoring and gives greater emphasis to damage as the number one scoring criteria. This would have been great when Dan Henderson fought Michael Bisping for the second time. Andy Foster, executive officer of the California State Athletic Commission and chair of the ABC MMA Rules Committee, told Sportsnet, "Thanks to the committee and especially Big John McCarthy in drafting this. The current incarnation of the scoring criteria, which was approved in 2016, outlines how rounds are scored in just over one page of text in a concise fashion, making it easy to digest, but leaving ample room for interpretation. The current criteria has led confusion in the eyes of the public who have had trouble grasping what judges are scoring as effective striking and grappling. The goal of the proposed regulation seeks to provide a more in-depth explanation of how the judges score rounds in an effort to eliminate as much of the gray area and confusion experienced by the public as possible. Many, including UFC commentators in the past, have also had trouble understanding when effective aggressiveness and fighting area control are being taken into consideration when scoring a round, which empirically is rough 1% of the time or less. The language of the new regulation will seek to reduce confusion by eliminating the concept of a priority, secondary, and tertiary criteria, replacing with a more precise explanation of what constitutes effective striking and grappling. This will also put a strong emphasis on damage, a word that is only found once in the current criteria as opposed to 17 times in the proposed version, and lays out precisely what constitutes damage. In recent years, the word damage has been a buzzword to sum up what judges are looking for in fights and scoring rounds, and the proposed regulations will explain that as legal fighting techniques, the results which lessen an opponent's capacity and or their will to compete, as well as provide several examples as to how that is achieved. The willingness to outright include the word damage, one definition in the proposed regulations includes heavy and or concussive legal strikes, is the sort of injurious verbiage that regulatory bodies have previously shied away from using. Currently, the prioritized criteria is effective striking and grappling, and is explained as legal blows that have immediate or cumulative impact with the potential to contribute towards the end of the match, with the immediate weighing in more heavily than the cumulative impact. Successful execution of takedowns, submission attempts, reversals, and the achievement of advantageous positions that produce immediate or cumulative impact with the potential to contribute to the end of the match, with the immediate weighing more heavily than the cumulative impact. God, I don't have to read that a couple different times. The proposed revisions take a step further and unpack exactly what that means by including 3 effectiveness concepts, which are those found in the current criteria's definition of a 10-8 round, which are damage, currently referred to as impact, dominance, and duration, otherwise known as the 3 Ds. Get that triple D! All of which have been given a definitive breakdown and an explanation of how they are weighted. Additionally, the proposed revisions lay out definitions of what are deemed to be successful striking, defined as legal strikes that result in damage, and successful grappling, defined as the execution of grappling skills proven productive by the damage results from takedowns, reversals, submission attempt, and achieving advantageous positions. Another element that the proposed revisions look to clarify is what constitutes as a 10-10, 10-9, 10-8, and 10-7 round, with specific clarification for 10-8 rounds. Previously, 10-8 rounds required the fulfillment of at least 2 damage, dominance, and duration, and now would require that damage be one of those 2. It also specifies that significant damage on its own is now satisfactory in scoring a 10-8 round. I believe just meaning if it's a stand-up round only and the one guy's significantly striking more, whereas that would, like, the other guy might not get fucked up, but he might be striking as less, defense might not be as good there, even though he might not look messed up. It's the amount of strikes. This is what I'm taking. It's the amount of strikes that go into it that would qualify as 10-8 versus 10-9. So we're going to end up seeing a lot more 10-8 rounds happening. because there's plenty of stand-up fights where it's just like defense and movement, but if one person's just doing all the striking, then that's probably going to be a 10-8 round because it shows what they're looking for. It shows like the urge to fight, the aggression, the approach. I can't think of the word right now, but moving the way that they want to see instead of keeping the fight boring. Which, I mean, there are boring fights, yes, but it's tough. I don't necessarily know if I like that for 10-8. 10-8 used to be rare. And like it still is kind of rare, but not as rare. Like you used to have to get fucked up to get a 10-8 round. I think now we're going to see too many 10-8 rounds, and too many decisions will be like too many what should be close decisions will be not close decisions due to this new rule. Voting to apply these changes to the unified rules of mixed martial arts will take place during the Association of Boxing Commission's 2025 conference, which is scheduled to be held in Nolens from August 4th to the 6th. Below are the specific revisions that they will be voting to include: MMA bout scoring. All bouts will be scored by a minimum of 3 judges. Okay. Fighter effectiveness concepts. Real quick, what they need to change with this too, I believe the only judges that should be there were people that were fighters or have trained in fighting themselves, or hardcore people that know the sport inside and out. They may not have needed to compete, but they know the sport. That's who I think the judges should be. Judges will evaluate the relative effectiveness of each fighter in each round in considering the following 3 prioritized and interrelated constructs. Damage, defined as legal fighting techniques, the results of which lessen an opponent's capacity and or their will to compete. This includes knockdowns, heavy or concussive legal strikes to vital targets. Yeah, but what signifies that? Because Michael Chandler against Paddy Pimblett, he had a heavy strike right on his chin. Paddy kept moving. So would that count as a point to Michael Chandler because he threw a heavy blow? Who gives a shit? If you don't do anything, who fucking cares? Striking and or grappling that lead to visual injury, swelling, hematomas. So this will particularly come in handy with calf kicks. Calf kicks are one of the fucking most brutal things that this sport has evolved to. This will be a huge part in the damage category and it'll be particularly on leg kicks. Grappling and or submission attempts that are hyperextended joints or cause rotational damage. Chokes that cause visible distress. Okay. Damage is the most highly valued component in judging a round because it's not on action, but rather a direct result of effective fighting. Damage, okay, but some people get bruised easily. Some people have so much scar tissue built up that they cut open easily. That's not that fair. Damage is a measure of effect to the opponent, the results of which lessen an opponent's capacity and or will to compete, and has immediate or cumulative impact towards ending the match with a priority given to immediate damage over cumulative damage within a round. What time is it? Okay. Dominance, defined as supremacy of positioning, action, and or volume by one fighter over another for a sustained period of time. It reflects an imposition or mastery of fighting skills or mastery of fighting skills and effectiveness of one fighter over another, leading to successful tactics and or strategic advantages intended to result in damage. This includes forcing the opponent to continually defend with no counters or reaction taken even when openings present themselves, staking a dominant grappling position and continuously forcing the opponent to defend potentially fight-ending submissions or attacks. Note that merely holding a dominance position shall not be considered demonstrating dominance in a round. So that's like in the clinch, I'm assuming. Maintaining an overwhelming offensive pace with any combination of legal techniques that continuously forces the losing fighter to consistently be in a defensive or reactive mode. Duration, defined as the measure of time or percentage of a round spent by one fighter successfully imposing effective technique and thereby establishing dominance and or administering damage. Effective fighting techniques, judges shall evaluate the relative effectiveness of each fighter's mixed martial arts techniques, such as successful striking, defined as legal strikes that result in damage. Successful grappling, defined as the execution of grappling skills proven by the damage resulting from takedowns, reversals, submission attempts, and achieving advantageous positions. The effectiveness of each fighter's successful striking and grappling, as defined above, shall be the determining factor in scoring the vast majority of rounds. However, if a judge absolutely cannot determine even a marginal advantage in either, they may proceed to the elements below to determine the winner of the round. Aggressiveness, defined as consistent offensive effort. Fighting area control, defined as dictating the pace, place, and position in the bout that is contested. Note, successful striking and successful grappling are equal, as both are measured as a result of effective fighting. So, one thing when it comes to the grappling in particular, for me personally, I think if a guy shoots and the other guy he sprawls and defends, that's a point for the other guy. Just straight up a point. If the guy shoots, gets the takedown, stays down for a minimum of like 5 to 7 seconds, that's a point for the takedown. If the guy takes down and the other guy gets right back up, then that evens it out. That's a point in the takedown and then a point in the defense. So that's even 1 point each. That's how I think they should go. I mean, obviously those that know the sport better than I do, I just watch and I like talking about it. You guys can inform me, but that's how I see what grappling and takedown should be. But also, I think if you take a guy down and then just fucking lay there, that shouldn't count, because that's boring. That's not doing one of these three things. I mean, I guess dominance, because you're not letting him out, but it's not inflicting damage if that's this guy's main concern, or that's the main concern there. And so, like, I don't know. It's tough because it does show dominance. He's dominating the other guy from getting out from under him. But at the same time, if you're just a fucking big dude laying on a smaller dude, then, like, is it really dominance? Like, if you're just laying there not really doing much and they just keep moving their wrists around, like, that's boring. Numerical scoring system. The 10-point system. Well, this is a much longer article than I anticipated. The 10-point system the 10-point must system will be the standard system used for scoring a bout. Under the 10-point must scoring system, 10 points must be awarded to the winner of the round, and 9 points or less must be awarded to the loser, except for a rare even round, which is scored at 10-10. A round shall be scored 10-10 when both contestants have competed for whatever duration of time the round is, neither fighter has established an advantage. The score is generally reserved in partial rounds. Scoring complete rounds 10-10 is seen as failure to adjudicate a score. I don't know how to say that. I should be able to say that, but I don't know how. A round shall be scored 10-9 when a contestant earns the round by offensive actions greater in degree and effectiveness than their opponent. In the rare circumstance when the judge is unable to discern an advantage, only then can they utilize the advantage in aggressiveness or fighting area control. A round shall be scored 10-8 when a contestant earns the round by offensive actions that may include dominance within duration, but that must include significant damage resulting from effort or attempts that by their implicit nature could finish the fight. Cumulative damage can be formed significant damage based upon the fighter losing energy, confidence, stamina, or spirit. Significant damage is enough by itself to award a 10-8. Significant domination, along with some of the damage and little to no offensive actions from the losing fighter, may be enough to award a 10-8. Significant domination, such as position control without damage, is not enough to award a 10-8. A round should be scored 10-7 when a contestant earns the round by overwhelming both damage and domination throughout the duration of the round. So I think, too, a lot of usual 10-8s will now become 10-7s. I don't know if I like that. If that's the case, I'd say they need to either go with shorter times and more rounds. So maybe have 3 5-minute rounds and then have 7, I don't know, man. 7 4-minute rounds on title fights. I'm not too sure. Have them all be 5 rounds. Have all fights be 5 rounds, but only at 3 minutes apiece, and then keep the 5-5s for championship fights or main event fights. I'm not too sure on that. Penalties assessed by the referee shall be deducted from the judge's scorecards. Okay. So we're at the end there. So with that, this was a huge article. Some stuff I agree with, some stuff I disagree with. Going the way that they would like to change the rules. Look back at the Sean Strickland and DDP 1 fight. That was a very close fight. There's an argument to be made. I thought Sean Strickland won, but barely. But there's an argument to be made that DDP won. I'm not upset that DDP won. I wasn't angry in the moment. I thought Sean won, but I can see easily how DDP won that fight. However, going off these new rules, if they're going more for damage duration or whatever, then Sean Strickland would have won that fight easy. So the fights like that, those really close fights where it truly could go either way, the Sean O'Malley, Peter Yans, those fights are now going to be very easily determined, and it's not always going to go well. I'm not expecting it to go well. No fight ever goes like well all the time, but I can see a lot more problems than solutions with the way that they want to change these rules. Again, I've never been in the sport. I just watch it. I like it. I like following it. I like talking about it. So if I'm way off, inform me better, dumb it down for me like you would say to a third grader, and just let me know your opinions on it in the chat or the comments. And yeah, are you excited for this? Are you not excited for this? Do you agree with me? Am I on the right track with some of these things that I'm saying? Let me know down below. Let's see, what time is it? 2:56. All right. Let's see. Okay, so we'll go ahead. No, I don't want to do that one yet. All right. What should I do for 5 minutes? What should I do for 5 minutes? All right, let's go ahead and. So I'm not going to worry about that one right now. Let's just look up if there's any breaking news real quick for 5 minutes. We could do that. Maybe like 2 or 3 minutes. All right, Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame ceremony is today. Actually, what time is the Hall of Fame ceremony? Oh, okay. Fame ceremony start time. Our UFC Hall of Fame ceremony will be held on Thursday, June 26th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and will be streamed live exclusively on UFC Fight Pass. The event takes place. Okay, so at 7 p.m. Depending on what time I get out of here, I'll go ahead and do I'll come back for another live stream of the UFC Hall of Fame. I've been to the UFC Hall of Fame ceremony one time. I went for UFC Fight Week 2 years ago. A lot of fun, great time. I do want to see a movie today though, so I'll have to go ahead and find out what time I'm going to be seeing the movie. Okay, so 7 p.m. I'll do that, and then let's go ahead and I'll bring myself this one over here. All right. Oh, wait, no, that's not what I wanted to watch. That's okay. I'll go back to that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set this up. We're going to get this all ready for the presser. This is what we will react to afterwards. I thought I was going to get through all this before the press conference, but I guess not. So, wow. Okay. We got UFC press conference, not 3:15, 3:17. The fuck? 3:17. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's go to the UFC page. All right, 3 p.m. We got about 1 minute left. Who do you guys got? I've got Topuria. 56% of Topuria. That is more than I thought and anticipated. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just wait for them to start. Come on, UFC, let's get started on this shit, bro. You're a minute late, UFC. Some fucked up shit, Larry. Well, while I'm here, if you're seeing this, please like and subscribe, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Right now, I have 95 subscribers. For every 100 that I get, I will do a 12 to 24 hour marathon subathon stream. So I'll start at 12 no matter what. If I get subs throughout that time, for like every couple subs, I'll add like a half hour, an hour, or whatever. But in order to get that happening, I must get to the goal of 100 subs. So please be sure to subscribe to this channel. On these live streams, I'll post clips to my Let's Talk MMA channel. So be sure to subscribe to that. Or if you like movies, movie reviews, everything like that, subscribe to my Crosstalks movies channel. I said Let's Talk Crosstalks MMA, and then my Crosstalks movies channel as well. That's where I'll post theories, movie review videos. Mainly movie review videos are on there, and then this channel is all for the live stream stuff. So if you're watching this on the replay, if you join in, please be sure to subscribe to mainly this channel. But if you could subscribe to those sub channels as well, if you like that kind of content. If not, then well, it is what it is. But again, I need 100 subscribers before I do my first marathon subathon stream. I'm so close. I'm 5 away. So be sure to subscribe. All right, just refreshing this. Could have gone over my second article, bro. All right, well, I haven't eaten yet and they haven't started. So I'm going to go and oh wait, no. Okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to get my sandwich real quick. I'll be right back. They still haven't started, bro? Come on. What's happening here? If this shit changed, oh, okay. I was like, if this shit changed to 4 o'clock, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay, UFC, you're on my nerves now. This is fucking stupid. Today's the 26th, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and continue on my news stories, and then I will go back. I'll go back to this. So, with my news story, I mentioned earlier in the stream that I had put together some fights. And when before they announced International Fight Week, I put together some fights and on who I wanted to see on the card, who I thought was going to fight, and blah, blah, blah. So, here, you guys don't really need to see all my shit. Hold on, let me figure out how to do this real quick. The fuck? Nope. Not that. How do I hide this? You can't hide that? I can't. What the fuck? That's stupid. Okay, well, never mind. So I'm trying to figure out how. I guess I could do it like this. Okay. Okay. So back in April, I'll show the video later on. Back in April, I made fight card predictions for UFC 317, and some of those fighters will be fighting, and some of them will not. There's one fight in particular that I made that actually is happening, and that fight that I wanted to make was Aljamain Sterling. Oh, I don't even have it on here. I wanted to make Aljamain Sterling versus Brian Ortega. I wanted that to be in the early prelims of this fight. The fight card that I made was fucking fantastic, but I wanted them to be on that card or on this card and fight each other. Well, that fight is happening, but not on this card. UFC Shanghai, Aljamain Sterling, and Brian Ortega to fight. Oh wait, hold on. Let me make sure that this is refreshed. All right, so it doesn't start. I'm going to turn this on so that way when we hear it, then I'll know. Aljamain Sterling, Brian Ortega, set to fight UFC Shanghai. The UFC booked two marquee bouts for its upcoming Shanghai card announced Wednesday. Johnny Walker and Zhang Ming Yang. I think that was the guy that just beat oh man, he just fought and he beat a legend. But battle and Brian Ortega, Aljamain Sterling tilt. So I wanted Brian Ortega. I wanted Brian Ortega and Aljamain Sterling to fight on the early prelims of this UFC 317 card. It didn't happen, but I predicted the fight, so I was actually pretty excited to see that they're actually going to fight. So, anyways, going into UFC Shanghai, Walker's on a two-fight skid. He won three straight before that. He's ranked 12th in the weight class, and Zhang is behind at a close 14th. Zhang is going to beat the shit out of Walker. I hate to say it. I like Johnny Walker, but Zhang is on a tear, and he's a beast. So, yeah, he's going to win for sure. Ortega and Sterling will meet in the co-main event. Sterling, the former bantamweight champion, is fighting at featherweight for the third time since moving up from bantamweight. He's coming off a decision loss to Mozar Evlivov, which followed a decision win over Calvin Kattar. Ortega remains in the 145-pound division despite previously laying out a plan to jump to lightweight. He's also coming off a loss as he dropped a decision to Diego Lopez last time out. He's 2-4 in his previous 6 fights, but 2 of those losses were title fights and 1 was stopped early because of an injury. Yeah, that sucks. Ortega's ranked 6th in the weight class, and Sterling sits 9th. I'll be honest, this is going to be a good fight of 2 vets and 2 guys that are good but on their way out. I hate to say it, but this will I think this will determine who's next to drop out of the rankings. I think win or lose, both of them will stay in the rankings, but their next fight out will determine whether or not they get out of the top 15. UFC Shanghai is scheduled for August 23rd. 2025, obviously. A heavyweight matchup between number 3 contender Sergey Pavlovich and number 6 Waldo Cortez Acosta is among other scheduled bouts. So that's cool. I guess I may as well just fucking bring over the wait, where did it go? I'll bring over my video and I guess I'll just start going over that. Let me go back though and It's still not happening. Is it happening on MMA Junkies too? Let's see. Oh, I mean, at least they're freaking live, bro. Let's see. UFC getting their shit ready. Okay. So let's see. I will go over. I'm going to pull up my video that I made back in April. Just give me a minute here. Where the fuck do you find your history on the YouTube? Oh, there it is. Okay. Hey, where'd it go? The fuck? Come on, man. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, now I got it over here. This was a card this was my own card that I made back in April. I have got proof of it here. On Friday, April 25th, 12:02 a.m. You probably couldn't see the April 25th, but whatever. So we've heard zero news on International Fight Week, which is why I showed the date in there, because I got some predictions / what I would want the card to be. So I'm going to go over that and kind of see if maybe any of them are correct. That'd be kind of cool. So I haven't really done this. I always do the predictions of who's going to. Okay, so there you go. You got the date in there. April 25th is what it was. And so now I'm going to go over my matchups. This is the card that I wanted. I wanted Dern versus Suarez. And then Derek Lewis and Volkov. Derek Lewis will actually be fighting, though, in a couple weeks here. Tracy Cortez and Miranda Maverick. Okay, this was the biggest one.
There are tons of ways to bet on the big fight.
Oh, shit, it's starting. Okay.
So many.
Never mind, we'll come back to it later.
Name them all before this guy taps out. Submission props, spreads, same game parlays. Only about a dozen left. New customers bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets.
Two of the greatest fighters who've ever lived. You're about to witness the best moment in sports. And that moment is now upon us.
Where the fuck is this coming from?
I got all the belts on my waist and on my shoulder. This is the Terrence Crawford era.
Who do you want next?
Well, you already know who I want.
Oh, there it is. Wow, I'm stupid.
This is a resume that is Hall of Fame worthy.
He's the king of boxing.
Esta pelea, lo que se ha llevado en torno, lo que la gente ha querido ver, es mucho más grande que las demás.
This is a fight that's been marinating for years. I've been preparing my whole life for this moment. This is one of them fights that will be talked about forever.
Canelo Alvarez, one of the greatest Mexican boxers of all time. All of Mexico is marching with him. Viva Mexico, cabrones!
I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat.
Bud Crawford, he is on a whole nother level.
It doesn't get any bigger than this.
This is truly a super fight.
The sport of boxing will change forever.
Who gives a shit? We're here for UFC. What the fuck? Bro! Give us what we want. I want to know how I sound. Okay. Give us what we want. All right, let's get to it. Here we go. Finally.
Loaded card on deck. We kick things off in the bantamweight division with two bright young prospects. Up first, a well-rounded fighter who enters Saturday night on a 14-fight win streak. Looking to prove he is the future of the division, please welcome Felipe Jungle Boy Lima.
Felipe Lima.
And his opponent, a dynamic striker who has the flash and flair
cool.
to light up an arena. 7 of his 9 wins have come by devastating knockout, and he looks to add another highlight on Saturday. Here is Peyton Talbot. Next up,
I don't know if I see Peyton Talbot being a champion or not. I hope so. He's a good fighter. I like him.
He's all about money and fighting. He's won 4 of his last 5 fights and challenged for the lightweight title in his
Manny
last outing.
Moicano.
Please welcome Renato Manny Moicano. Standing across from him, a staple of the top 10 in the lightweight division. He holds wins over some of the biggest names in the division's history, and now looks to make a final push to lightweight gold. Introducing Beneil Dariush. We move to the flyweight division with title implications on the line. Up first, he's captured the attention of the masses with his activity and relentless style. He's won 12.
All right, who do you guys want between Kaikar France and Pantoja?
To secure a title shot after competing for the 2nd time in the month of June. Say hello to the red hot Joshua Fan. Facing him is a former title challenger who possesses all the tools to get back to a shot at the throne. A finisher through and through with 13 career stoppage wins. Please welcome to the stage, Brandon Raw Dog Royval. Now, the co-main event of the evening with the UFC Flyweight Championship on the line. Up first, a striking phenom from New Zealand, known for his devastating power and speed. Don't blink when he enters the octagon on Saturday night. Please welcome the challenger, Kai Kara-France.
I just want a good fight with this fight. I don't care who wins.
A Brazilian warrior who's proven he belongs in the talks with the greatest flyweights of all time. Now looking to make the 4th defense of his title, please welcome Alexandre the Cannibal Pantoja. And finally, our main event, legacy and lightweight gold on the line. First, a fan favorite who's already cemented himself as one of the all-time greats. He holds the record for the most submissions in UFC history with 16. Here is the former UFC lightweight champion, Charles "Du Bronx" Oliveira. His opponent, one of the biggest stars in the sport today, looking to add a 2nd belt to his collection. Coming off knockout wins over Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway. Representing the countries of Spain and Georgia. Introducing the former UFC featherweight champion of the world, Ilya the Matador Topuria.
Let's go, Topuria! Gotta respect and like the guy that knocks out my favorite fighters.
Who's got the first question?
John Morgan.
Ilya, please.
Here we go.
Ilya, I just wanted to ask you about this fan reaction today, right? There's been a lot of discussion about you fighting fan favorites. You have to hear boos when you walk out. Are you hoping that this is the fight where people start to cheer for you, or do you enjoy kind of playing the villain a little bit?
I used to it.
He loves being the heel.
The only thing I wish that I'm gonna enjoy the fight on Saturday night.
Oh, put your booze aside. Woo!
He has the most finishes in UFC history. If you go out there and finish him in the first round like you're saying you will, what statement does that send to the rest of the division?
Oh, that looks like a tough weight cut for Oliveira.
Você é o cara que mais teve finalização na história do UFC. Se você foi lá e finaliza o William, o que isso significa e que mensagem que você manda para todo mundo?
He looking thin.
Cara, eu não quero finalizar ele, eu quero vencer. Eu quero que meu braço seja levantado.
Boo.
Eu tô pronto pra isso.
Man, I don't want to finish him. I want to win. That's what I came for, the win. I won my arm race, and that's what I'm ready for.
I don't want to finish. I want to win. This is why he doesn't deserve to be champion. Fuck that, bro.
What statement does it send?
Means he's here to stay.
I would say that's a very visual thinking, but vamos galera, arriba, vámonos.
There you go. There's some cheers.
One last quick one for Charles. Charles, you were actually in the UFC before Ilya had ever even had a professional fight. So what does that experience mean in a fight like this of this magnitude for you?
Charles, você começou no UFC e já foi campeão antes do Ilya ter a primeira luta dele. O que significa essa experiência numa luta como essa?
Tudo são fases. Eu tô aqui de novo para fazer história. O que passou, passou. Se vocês acham que esse ou o que tá vocês pensando tá me oprimindo, eu nasci no meio do fogo, no meio da guerra. Eu tô pronto para isso.
Guys, these are stages and they're phases, and it doesn't matter what's past is past. These are.
I want to win. I don't want to submit or finish. I just want win.
Believe me, I was forged in the fire. I'm ready for this.
Boo.
Just one quick one for Dana. Dana, I know there's logistical issues potentially with holding an event in Spain, but if Ilya wins, you've got an undefeated two-division champion. How much of a personal goal does it become for you to take the UFC to Spain?
Yeah, I mean, we want to go to Spain anyway. We've been trying to go there since COVID. Yeah, as soon as possible, we will get there. Who's next? Who's got the next go?
Damn, I need water.
For the champion, Alessandro Pantoja, all the way in the back. You know, on media day, you called Kai Kara French, you know, the Mike Tyson of the flyweight division, and you needed to be the Muhammad Ali and make him miss. So I guess what type of fight are you?
There are tons of ways to bet on the big fight with DraftKings Sportsbook. So many, I'm going to try to name them all before this guy taps out.
UFC, you don't have enough fucking money? You got to throw ads in this shit?
Only about a dozen left. New customers bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets.
Bro, that's fucking gay.
The whole UFC.
Bro, UFC, why you got ads in the middle of your shit? You don't have enough money? You fucking losers. Come on, dude. Or I could just pay for YouTube Premium, but not there yet. In order to pay for YouTube Premium, you guys got to subscribe.
Put him away like you've done to the past flyweights.
Kia ora. Pantoja's one of the best. You know, he's one of the best champs in the flyweight division. But we fought 9 years ago. I was a boy back then. Now I'm a man. I know what I'm fighting for. So when I get in there, I want to be the first one to make history and take him out.
Let's go. I just run a good fight overall.
All the way in the back. Peyton, you know, I think this is your first press conference we've had you in a pay-per-view. You've been on these big cards before. You said you liked the matchup against Felipe. So I guess what is it about this opponent that got you so excited for this fight specifically?
I think we both come to fight. Like, I think the way both of us are going to fight.
Get that fucking thing out of your nose, bro. You're a fighter. What the fuck? Holy cucks have that shit.
Prospects.
Same question for Felipe Lima all the way in the back. You know, Peyton said, you know, we expect to finish. This is going to be fireworks. So what do you expect on Saturday? Do you think you can put him away? Are you expecting a 15-minute war in there?
It's going to be a war for sure, and it's jungle time.
Jungle time? What the fuck is that?
Yesterday, Renato said that he had to kill you on Saturday because there's only room for one old man in this division. Do you think that's aggressive, or what are you expecting from those comments?
I don't know. I just expect.
So, guys, I saw Beneil Dariush fight at UFC 199.
No, Saturday, motherfucker. You know. Let's fucking go. Only one.
You can't take this guy. You motherfucker. You can't take him seriously, bro. But he's funny.
I'll be the last one standing. By the way, I'm younger than you, motherfucker. 15 days. So pay attention. On Saturday, I'm gonna finish you. Listen, young man, you're still young. You'll stay young and you'll lose this one, but you'll
I'm
stay
still
young.
young, but I'm balding, so that means I have superiority over you, my brother. I'm a real man over here.
Brother, I'm gonna break you Saturday. We'll talk after, all right?
Let's see that, my brother.
They're gonna get a beer after the fight. I'm calling it now.
That you made a lot of money from that fight with Islam Makhachev, but 2 back-to-back losses at this stage of your career. Would you say money?
What the fuck you saying, my brother? Don't say losses to Manny Moicano. I lost to the best, and my fucking account, Dariush is not the fucking best. Are you comparing Dariush to Islam Makhachev, my brother?
No, I was just saying that money or not, you
And
cannot
then don't say it.
lose.
Fair enough.
Then don't fucking say it, my brother. This is money Moicano time. Back in the day, I could afford to lose. You know why? Because they paying fucking me in Bitcoin. Now, they try to
Maybe Bitcoin?
They try to pay me in dollars, so I need to win.
Question for Brandon Royval. Brandon, you said that you feel like you're the most disrespected fighter in the UFC. How are you going to change that narrative Saturday night?
I'm just gonna go out there and remind people what the fuck's up. I feel like I'm gonna show it business.
What the fuck is up?
And every time I step in the cage, you guys remember what the fuck's up, and it's that time to show what's up.
Josh Van, you're on a meteoric rise right now in the flyweight division.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good fight, and Josh Van's on a tear. Brandon Royval will either put him in his place, or Van just gonna show that he's that guy.
Josh Van, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna finish the fight. That's what I'm gonna do. Finish the fight.
Wow, he looks thick compared to where he just was a couple weeks ago. I wonder that weight cut's going.
Você tem 3 defesas de cinturão. Só você é o Eli Zhang que tem dos atuais campeões lineares. Você, se eu não me engano, é o 10º do ranking pound por pound. Você já criticou esse ranking. Vencendo sábado, com a importância desse evento, você consegue o reconhecimento que você tem.
All right, bro, land the plane. Damn.
Pantoja, you got 3 title defenses, and the only people that have it is you and Weili Zhang, obviously the linear title holders. If you win on Saturday and do this again, and of course you're the 10th.
Charles.
Just kidding. I like Pantoja.
De novo, numa semana de luta, viralizaram imagens suas com seu time, cortando peso, nas saunas, rezando junto. Quando isso
Oh, man.
qual a importância
Gets a
pra
nap
você?
time during the
Onde você
non-English
estaria
questions.
sem esse tipo de comportamento do seu time?
Charles, this week, more images
Charles!
have gone viral on social media of you and your team praying and cutting weight. And so we wanted to know, when did that begin? What does it feel like, and how important it is to have this team behind you?
Isso não é um time, isso é uma família. Não adianta falar, eles nunca vão entender. Isso é chutebox.
This is not a team. This is a family. It don't matter if I say it. They're never going to get it. It's shoot to box.
Okay.
Question for
Let's
Ilya.
get better questions.
Ilya, if you win the belt on Saturday, you'll become 2-weight UFC champion in just 9 fights. What would that say about you if you're able to accomplish that in such a short amount of time?
That I'm the best. I'm the best fighter in the world. And it's not that if I'm gonna win the belt, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna knock him out in the first round. They always used to be like this, but after the fight, you know what's happened.
And one question for Dana. Originally, Brandon Royval versus Manel Kape was billed as a flyweight title eliminator. Is Royval versus Joshua Van next for the title?
Yeah, Dana.
Oh, we'll talk on Tuesday.
The guy just asked him, you feel like you're the most disrespected fighter in the UFC. I guess I got to say yes to that question then, yes.
That's what the fuck we're talking about. Let's bring that shit, Josh. And we're going to get some bonuses on top of that shit.
Let's do this shit, man. Let's do it.
Which sucked because I wanted to see Kape fight so bad. That would have been such a good fight.
For Ilya, Khabib recently said that he wanted you to face Charles before fighting Islam. He believes you beat Charles. What did you make of Khabib's comments, and why do you think he wanted you to fight Charles before fighting Islam?
Honestly, I don't care what he wants.
Let's go.
You've knocked
Ilya said,
Volkanovski,
fuck
you've
you.
knocked out Max Holloway. You said you're going to knock out Charles in the first round. Do you enjoy knocking out these legends of the sport?
Yes, because he likes finishes. He's a fucking fighter. He doesn't want to fight to decisions.
The legends, you eventually become a legend, like Dana said.
And one for Kai Kara France. Now, Volk and JDM both won titles this year for Australia. Did that give you any inspiration to bring the title back home to New Zealand, not just for yourself, but for the whole region?
100%. That region is it's so hot right now. Like everyone's
Yes, sir.
Everyone's going after it. So, like I said in the build up to this, it's my time. It's Kai time.
Question for Ilia Topuria. Merab is here.
Merab won his title a couple weeks ago. What's the parade going to look like in Georgia if you win on Saturday night?
What you said? Repeat that question, please.
Merab is here and he won his title fight 2 weeks ago. What's the parade going to look like in Georgia if you win on Saturday night?
I don't know. They are going to go crazy like always.
And question for Kai Kara France.
This is very simple.
You're here in front of the biggest stage representing your Maori heritage and showcasing your best skills. How much does it mean to represent your nation and your people right here on the biggest stage in the world?
Well, last time I fought at T-Mobile Arena, that's when I knocked out Cody Garbrandt. So it's always been good to me in Las Vegas. So I'm expecting to do the same when I step out here Saturday night. So just know everyone back home, I'm representing all of us, and I'm bringing that belt back home.
Go ahead.
Ilya, Kamar Joba champion. After defeating Charles and winning the lightweight belt, do you think you should become the undisputed pound for pound #1 fighter in the UFC?
No.
I don't know. I don't like to answer those kind of questions, to be honest. Whatever they decide to put me, I will be okay. I don't care about those rankings, to be honest.
My question's for Ilya. Ilya,
Well, actually,
you know,
fuck,
for
who would it
beating
be?
Legends, come Saturday night, you beat Charles. Who will be your next victim?
Next one. I don't know. Who's going to be the next one, Dana?
Justin
We'll
Gaethje.
figure that out after Saturday.
Whoever.
Gaethje.
Question for Ilya here to your left. Given Charles' immense standing in the sport, all the accolades he has, what does a win over him do for your resume and your bid to become the greatest mixed martial artist of all time?
It always means a lot to beat those kind of fighters. You know what I mean? He's a legend in the sport, so it means a lot for my professional career. So all the respect in the world for Charles, but I'm doing my job.
And question for Charles. Given the immense, not hype behind Ilya, but the immense respect that everybody's given him and the apparent anointment of him potentially being the king of the UFC with a win this weekend, what does a win over him do for your legacy?
Charles, dado o hype, não somente o hype, mas também o outro aspecto do Ilya, o respeito que todos dão para ele, e também o fato de que o UFC aposta muito nele, o que uma vitória sobre ele faz pelo teu legado?
Algo gigante. Continuar levando esse legado gigantesco. Não é só o UFC, vocês. Eu também respeito a trajetória dele, quem ele é. A gente vai fazer uma grande luta nesse sábado. Entregar aquilo que vocês querem dentro do queijo. Eu estou pronto para isso.
Enormous. It's that legacy. It's building on the legacy. And it's not just the UFC or you. I respect Ilya a lot and the trajectory and his journey that he's had. I'll tell you what, we're going to deliver a great fight for you guys on Saturday night, and we're ready for that.
Hell yeah, you're going to get knocked out in 3 minutes, bitch.
Question for Ilya. Hola, Ilya. Me gustaría que le enviaras un mensaje a toda esa gente que piensa en rendirse, que lucha por sus sueños. Y, por supuesto, me gustaría que le dijeras por qué deberían de esperar despiertos, ya que el sábado serás doble campeón mundial.
Ilya, can you please send a message to all those people that don't give up and to continue to pursue their dreams, and tell them why should they stay up so late in Spain to watch you?
So tengo que hacer de terapista ahora, ¿no?
Dale.
Bueno, obviamente tienes que confiar en ellos. Si ellos.
There are tons of ways to bet. Bet $5 and get
Fuck you, UFC.
$150 instantly in bonus bets.
Stupid bullshit ads. This guy's still talking? Oh my god.
No dirán de que han malgastado su dinero. Su ticket ahora valió la pena. O su pay-per-view.
Muchísimas gracias, Ilya.
To all those people, I just tell people, never give up. Because
I am
you
surprised
are
that Ilya is the
best
favorite.
available.
I will say, I'm
And the
surprised about
dream,
that.
No one is going to do for you. You need to make your dreams come true. And I said, if you believe in a dream, you make it true. And why should you stay up? Because it's going to be a great fight. And I'll tell you, we deliver. And it doesn't matter. I said, every time you leave this stadium, it's not money badly spent. You're going to spend a good amount of money, and it's going to be great.
Go ahead, sir.
Question for Ilya Topuria. The former UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev was critical of you this week. He went on an interview and he
We don't give a fuck about him, so save that question.
That's right. Fuck Islam.
We'll move on. Josh Van and Brandon Royval. Dana White just confirmed that your fight is the #1 contenders fight. So what's your message to the two guys sitting beside you fighting for the title this weekend?
Oh, take note.
Uh-oh.
Me and Josh Van go hard, so
This is going to be an exciting fight, and I'm excited to meet Josh Van in the middle.
The winner of the title have to come see me. So, yeah.
A question for Ilya. Ilya,
I'm curious as to see how he's going to look tomorrow at the weigh-ins because he looks chunk.
Una pegada más dura que la tuya. Quería saber qué opinas tú al respecto de estas declaraciones.
Oh God, here we go again.
You respect Charles Oliveira and he respects you, but recently he said he's got more firepower and hits harder than you. What do you think?
Es imposible. Es imposible que me haga más fuerte que yo. Y el
It's
sábado por la
impossible.
noche tendrá la oportunidad de demostrarlo. Yo digo que se despertará en el suelo.
Listen, it's impossible. It is impossible. On Saturday night, you're all going to have an opportunity to see this. I said he's going to wake up on the floor already.
And question for Dana. Dana, en caso de que Ilia Topuria finalice a Charles Oliveira, ¿se convierte en la principal cara de la UFC?
Dana, for you, in case Ilya just finishes Charles Oliveira, does he become the new face of the UFC?
Listen, there's lots of guys that are stars depending on where we go and what we do. He is definitely, if he goes in and does what he says he's going to do on Saturday night, he's absolutely one of the biggest stars in combat sports.
Hay muchos tipos ahí que tienen esa importancia y que vienen con todo, pero si él va a hacer lo que dice que va a hacer, obviamente se convierte en una de las grandes estrellas de este deporte.
Go ahead.
Question for Ilya. Do you think the extra 10 pounds are going to help you in this fight?
No fucking shit. He wouldn't have done it.
Less 10 extra pounds, I will beat him.
Oh, shit.
Go ahead, sir.
Hello, question for Ilya also. Ilya, te enfrentaste a una leyenda de este deporte como Volkanovski. ¿Qué pasó?
Ganamos.
Te enfrentaste a una leyenda de esto como Max Holloway. ¿Qué pasó?
Triunfadores.
Te enfrentas a una leyenda de esto como Charles Oliveira. ¿Qué va a pasar?
Vencedores.
¿Tienes miedo?
We keep undefeated.
¿Tienes miedo de que Dana White se acabe enfadando contigo porque estáis destrozando a todas las leyendas de este deporte?
No tengo miedo a nada, solo a Dios.
Ilya, you faced a big legend in the sport, Volk. What happened? I won. You faced another legend, Max Holloway. What happened? I won. You're going to face another legend, Charles Oliveira. What's going to happen? I'm going to win. Do you think that Dana's going to be mad at you because you're going to be just kicking out legends?
Misma pregunta, Dana. ¿Te vas a enfadar con
Are you
Ilya
asking me
Topuria?
if I will be mad if he...
Yeah, and he said he doesn't fear anybody. He only fears
¿Vas a
God.
enfadar con Ilya si sigue destrozando a las leyendas de este deporte?
Sir, congratulations. You win the weirdest question of all time. Congratulations. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Question for Charles. Charles Oliveira, they're making a movie about your amazing career. Would a victory over Ilya be the finale of that movie in your opinion?
Charles, estão fazendo filme sobre a tua carreira e sobre a tua trajetória. Uma vitória sobre ele.
I hope it's a good movie, not one of those like B movies.
Eu acho que não, eu acho que seguiria a parte 2, porque o filme já está quase praticamente encerrado. Essa vitória vai ser a parte 2.
No, I think you'll be part 2 because the movie's almost done. I think this begins part 2.
Next question for Ilya. Ilya, you have superstars in the past like Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey who pushed the sport even bigger. Do you feel like winning a second belt will allow you to be the next superstar to grow the UFC even further?
I hope so. I hope so. That's my intention. To help to the new generations.
Hell
Go
yeah.
ahead, sir. Question for Charles. You said before, a wounded lion is still a lion. With everything you've been through, losses, comebacks, and even doubt, do you think this is a moment that lion inside of you shows that he never left?
Charles, no passado você falou, um leão machucado ainda é um leão. Você acha que nesse momento, com mais uma adversidade, essa grande oportunidade para mostrar a você que você é um leão?
Não, com certeza, um leão ferido continua sendo um leão. Mas eu sou um leão sem estar ferido, eu estou 100% pronto.
Of course, so yes, a wounded lion is still a lion, but I'm not wounded. I'm 100% ready.
Just one more for me. Josh Van, Anoche UFC, no one even asked you a question at the press conference. Now we're here, International Fight Week, the crowd is cheering for you. Did you envision this happening so quickly in your career?
Yeah, I'm just enjoying the moment right now. So come Saturday, it's going to be a whole different game. So, yeah.
Oh, who's next? That it? That's done? All right. We're going to rip this stuff out of here, square these guys off. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming
All
out
right.
and have a blast, International.
Here we go. Let's see if anything happens. at the what's it called? Let's see if anything happens in their face-offs right now. And then after this, I will still be finishing up what I was going over. Back in April, I predicted a UFC 317 card. I predicted / made my own. A couple of those fighters that I made on my own, or that I predicted would be on this card on my own, are there. I'm going to be going over those. And then tonight, I will be back at 7 p.m. I'll probably do like 6:50 p.m. I'll be back, and we'll watch the UFC Hall of Fame ceremony on UFC Fight Pass. So be sure to swing on by if it'll let me do that. If it doesn't, I mean, that'll really suck. But if it'll let me do that, then cool. And yeah, be sure if you want to see some more MMA news, if you want to see some movie news, if you want to see some movie clips, things like that, be sure to subscribe to this channel. I'm at 95 subscribers right now. Every 100 subscribers that I get, I will do a subathon marathon stream where we'll play games, watch movies, watch fights, go over fights, do a bunch of stuff. It'll be 12 hours no matter what, and for every subscriptions that I get during that marathon, I will extend it up until 24 hours should I keep getting subs. But in order to do that, I need to get to 100 subs first. I'm at 95. I'm only 5 away. If you see this, please be sure to subscribe. So they're going to go ahead and break this stuff down, and then they'll do the face-offs. It should be pretty quick. And yeah, it's been a good day so far. Some solid movie news came out this morning, so if you want to go back and look at some movie news, I did that earlier today. I'll have clips up on that later. I'll have clips of today's MMA news up on the Crosstalks MMA, so that's my sub-channel, so go ahead and subscribe to that as well if you don't care about live stream stuff. This is the live stream only channel. All right, got our first face-off here. I got Peyton Talbot. Peyton Talbot with dub. Benil Darius versus Money Moicano. Good fight. Oh, wow. Odds are even. I got Benil in this one. I got Benil. Joshua Van Royval. I like Royval, but I got Van. I will say. A lot of these fighters are friendly. There's no like real animosity anymore between a lot of fighters, so face-offs aren't like anything crazy anymore. I want to get fighters that fucking hate each other again. Those are some fun times. All right, Pantoja, Kai Kara France. I'm going Kai Kara France, man. I like Pantoja. He's a good fighter, but I got Kai Kara France in this one. But if Pantoja wins, I won't be upset. There we go. Finally. An intense stare down. Let's go. You kept your glasses on because you're scared, Pantoja. You're scared. Hey, you got the eye of the tiger. He's ready. Let's go. All right, main event. Stare off, face down, stare off, whatever the fuck, face off. All right. Wow, they were all booing for Ilya at the very beginning, and now they're chanting his name. Let's go. Ilya! Ilya! Let's go. They better not be disrespectful in the cage, bro. They better go and fucking destroy each other. Yeah, glasses on. There you go. They said he looked like a midget next to Oliveira. That's bullshit, bro. He's shorter, obviously, but not that much. All right. Let's go. All right, guys, that is it.
Lightweight champion Islam Makhachev is going to move up to the welterweight division. So, you all know Ilia Topuria. Oh, no! Undefeated, 16-0, vacated his featherweight title. And now he's moving up to...
Okay, so I'm going to get back to doing what I was doing. And, okay, so I did talk about the Aljamain Sterling and Ortega fight. I had that fight listed right here. This is my video back from April. And I wanted them to fight.
Moving into the prelims to start for them to have to see, hey, who still got it, because
So you can clearly see.
Okay.
You clearly see I had them both. This video was done back in April. And then, so from there, I'd already talked about Tracy Cortez, but I'm gonna go over it again anyways. Okay. Let me just move this. How further in can I go? Okay, cool. All right, come on now. Tapuria, okay. Early prelims, and then now I'm gonna go here. Oh, what the fuck? Nope, don't want to do that. I want to do this. Thought I was on that side. Okay. And again, this is my video. I did not just make this. I made this back in April. Okay, so then I didn't have any of these guys, I will say. I didn't have any of them on my card. But let's see who there is. Okay, again, Tracy Cortez. I had her, but I had her right here. I had her fighting Miranda Maverick on the early prelims. The funny thing, I originally had Thug Rose and Miranda Maverick. Or, I'm sorry, Thug Rose and Tracy Cortez. I forgot that they had already fought. So then I was like, okay, Tracy Cortez and Miranda Maverick. That would have been cool. Miranda Maverick ended up fighting Thug Rose, and she lost. But, so I did have Tracy Cortez fighting Miranda Maverick. She is fighting on UFC 317. It just isn't against Vivian Aru, but nevertheless, she's on the card. Next up after that, Beneil Dariush and Money Moicano. I wanted Sean Strickland in them. Nope. Where'd it go? I know I had both these guys. There we go. I had Beneil Dariush. This again back in April. I had Beneil Dariush fighting Dan Hooker. I don't know if Dan Hooker was going to be safe then or not, but I did have him on this card. And then I also had, I believe I had Moicano. See, it would have been earlier. There you go. I had Moicano versus Sarukian, and I had this fight. I had Moicano versus Sarukian because Sarukian backed out. Moicano stepped in. Technically, they both lost. Sarukian lost to the scale, and Moicano lost to Islam. So I had them fighting each other. So I had Moicano and Dariush both on this card. And then finally, I had Oliveira, but I had him fighting Patty, but I had him on the card. And this was my own prediction. And then I had Ilya versus Islam. That still should be the card or the fight to make for this card, but whatever. So I had Ilya, Charles, Beneil, Moicano, and Tracy Cortez all in my predicted 317 card back in April. And so because this happened and I saw that there was a decent amount of fighters that I predicted would be on this card, actually on the card, I went ahead and I bought the plaque that they're going to send me of where you put your name in the octagon. I'll see if I can see it this weekend. Put your name in the octagon, and then they'll ship it out to you when they tear the octagon down. I spent the money on that because there was, 5 fighters that are on this card that I predicted would be on this card back in April when nothing was announced. So with that, that's it. That's all I wanted to do and go over real quick. And then also that fight of Brian Ortega and Aljamain Sterling. They're not on this card, but they are actually fighting each other. So that was an actual match that I predicted would happen that I felt was right what happened, and it's happening. So I just think that's super cool. And yeah, with that, let me know who else would you have liked to have seen on this card. Feel free to go and look back at this video of mine and see if you liked my card better or worse or neither or whatever. And with that, that comes to an end for us today, you guys. I will be back I'll be back at about 3 hours at 6:50 p.m. And then I'll try to see if I can get the Hall of Fame ceremony uploaded. We could do a watch along of that. And then if we can't, then I'll just get off stream and I'll come back tomorrow. Tomorrow I will come back for the weigh-ins. We'll react to the weigh-ins live. We'll have some fun. And then yeah, with that, I will. And then after that on Mondays, or I don't want to get too far ahead. But yeah, after that on tomorrow, there's obviously the fights. I won't be doing a live stream of the fights or anything like that. But this was it for today's show. Thank you guys for watching. For those that tuned in, if you can, please be sure to like and subscribe. And also let me know what you liked about the show, what you didn't like about the show. Let me know what you thought about the news segments. And let me know what I can do to improve the show to keep gaining attention and gaining followers and subscribers. I love this. I love talking about fights. I love talking about movies. And I would love to make a career out of it. So anything that can help, I'm willing to listen and hear people out. So with that, I am out of here. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.